Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Your Soul Wisdom. Oh, the technical difficulties we have today. Ladies, what is it?
An hour
Kylie.
and 20 minutes. An hour and 20. Do you know that?
Oh,
Oh my God.
Okay, Kylie, are we still in Mercury retrograde? Like, what's going on in the skies that this is like a thing?
no, this is just an us thing. You cannot blame the planets for our incapable nature.
I know. I'm like, next time we change software, we need to have a girl chat. Just have a scheduled girl chat with no
Well,
pressure to get anything done, and we can just stuff around with stuff and work stuff out.
Yeah.
Wow.
It,
But
I
we're
know.
there now.
It's like if you
Hour and
ever
20
feel
minutes for that.
enlightened, then all you need is some IT problems to humble you immediately. But anyway, whatever. All the work we've done, and for what, ladies? At least we're laughing about it.
well, 100%. And you know what's really funny? When we were like getting ready to record, I remember being like, okay, I'm in Chicago for everyone listening. And so I see her going, oh my God, it feels like it's a fall day outside. I'm wearing a sweater. I've got, for some reason, I put on my grandmother's watch. So I know she's here. And Kylie, if she wants to come through, you just let her come through. Okay. But I was like, oh, it's a great day. Like, so excited. And then we had this an hour and 20-minute, like, laughing charade because we just couldn't get our shit together. And so, but what's really funny is something we had wanted to talk about was friendships. Can you imagine, Rachel, you say this all the time. Can you imagine 5 women coming together and being
Oh,
able
I would have got leukemia in the last hour and a half and had to go. Like, seriously. Like, there's no way that I can endure that kind of
That
stuff.
was very stressful
I
for
like,
you.
I'm like, IT and cool room problems. I know cool room problems are behind me for hopefully forever now, but frankly, the problem with I've just got to buckle down and learn it. It's because I don't understand enough that I just get wildly frustrated. But hey, what I was talking about and what we were talking about was the ending of platonic relationships and how that happens. And there's been a few things that have been coming up for me. One, everybody here at least would have had the experience of the weird unloading of friendships that happen around 30. And I'm told it's also around 50. And that's definitely happening with me. But I've had so many significant life changes, and so much of my connections were commercially based that at the moment I'm just experiencing not having those relationships in my life anymore. But it is interesting because, Lauren and I were talking about it, and it's sort of like, as far as, what was sort of close, intimate, and let's just make it specifically female relationships, it is a really odd thing when there isn't the resonance between the two people. And sometimes maybe one of those people hasn't actually realized that yet. And it's sort of like what we were talking about is I would be up for having an honest, kind conversation about how, you know, it's obviously not where either of us are at the moment. But in reality, I really have never done that because I just don't feel like almost I'm in two minds. It's sort of like I just turn into this weird sort of ghoster or half ghoster. It's not like I truly ghost people, but I don't initiate any contact, that kind of stuff. I don't know.
But I don't understand how you can have a kind of like a nice, kind conversation about it. What are you going to end up saying? Like, I just don't.
No, this is the thing. You're just not my vibe anymore.
Like, yeah, so I'm not going to be calling you. I'm just calling you to let you know I'm not going to be calling you. I'm just messaging you to let you know I'm not going to be messaging you, or I'm not going to be responding to these messages. I think it's just the easiest way is that you just fall out of contact. And you just know, well, that's a person that I knew then. I don't think I can do anything like that. But I don't think there's anybody in my life that I've kind of like throughout the years, or for 30 or 50, I think that I've kind of like grown apart from. I think there's people that you fall out of contact with, but that's different to growing apart from.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think where that conflict comes in, where it's their awkward conversation or you have to ghost somebody, it very much, or at least in my life, it falls in the category of that other person has made you their number one relationship in their life.
Or a significant one. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so instead of this natural trajectory of, oh, you know, you spend so much time together and then you kind of do your own thing and you kind of come together, you know, you allow things to happen. They hold on so tight that then it creates this resistance where you're like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm suffocated. And you just feel like it's easier to ghost somebody instead of actually having to sit. Like, how do you actually tell somebody you're too much? I can't do this. And you guys know, especially for me, I can't sugarcoat my words. Kylie, I know you can't sugarcoat your words.
Oh no,
And
I
so
tell people to fuck off, you know, at least once a year.
Like girlfriends?
Easily.
Really? Like,
Absolutely. 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 Do you want to hear an
Is it
example?
in the,
yeah,
yeah,
I do.
and I want to
Yeah.
know if they're all in the moment or whether you've given it some consideration and actually like I can understand. I have told a girlfriend who was incredibly abusive to me on a number of occasions when she was drinking. It's really been the only friend that I've had who's, I wouldn't even understand what a nasty drunk was without this woman, to be honest, because I just don't have other friends like that. But I was clear and grounded the next day when I told her, no hard feelings, but I'm not lining up for this again, kind of thing. But I can imagine losing my shit in the moment, so to speak, on some sort of level, but I can't imagine actually having an actual kind of scheduled conversation, like a performance management. I can't separate it from work. But yeah, I'm interested in if you're just reacting in the moment, Kylie, or
So 50-50. So I
Okay.
have told if I don't like your behavior and it goes against my moral fiber or it's a, you know, I don't want that kind of friendship, I will say, and I have said it, listen, I don't like how you are okay with your husband talking to me. Therefore, I'm going to stop contact with you. Or I don't like the fact that you're associating yourself with this and I'm going to stop contact and that's it. And it'll go block, like you cannot reach me. I will completely disappear with nothing. I have no time. You know, I'm in the camp of I prefer to have a very, very select handful of girlfriends who I dedicate my everything to, and they still get ghosted for weeks upon weeks, right? But
we know, Kylie.
yeah, exactly. If you are in regular contact, fucking be honored. Okay.
Yeah.
Be honored.
yeah.
You're a priority to me. Okay.
I say
She knows. But like I've had another friend, and Lauren knows this person, Anasia, who it was becoming a really unhealthy relationship. And I will sit down with you, I will call you and I'll be like, listen, I've been marinating on this. This is not what I'm seeking right now. This is not healthy for you. This is not healthy for me. This is borderline, you know, clingy. I have the stalker tendency a little bit. I'm good. Let's part ways and you will not find me again. Like I will not give you access to anything. You'll be blocked on everything. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the I've had 6 wines and I miss you. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't.
Wow.
You miss
I feel like I should be making
the
notes.
easy accents. You miss the easy access. You miss the insights, right? And especially doing what I do, people really, and I'm like, as soon as you breach that line, I'm like, no, bro, you're dead. Like you're dead and out of my life. You will not find me again. I don't understand why it's so hard to have that conversation. I don't want to waste time. I have no drama in my life because of those boundaries. Like no one calls me at 2:00 in the morning. My husband's beaten me and because if you don't have your shit together, you don't get to be a part of this because I'm actively working to be a better person. You also have accountability to work to be a better person too in order to be in this friendship.
Right.
I have high
100%.
expectations. Okay, that's my TED talk.
No,
No,
see,
you go, Yana.
well, I love that because boundaries is something that was so hard for me most of my life that I would say within the last like 1 or 2 years, I've really started sinking my feet into that. And I'm able now to say, look, this doesn't work for me, or that was not okay. Where in the past, I would have just not said anything and then maybe ghosted you or just kind of like to my own detriment. But I'm interested to know if any one of you have been on the receiving end of a ghosting from a girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
You mean aside from Kylie?
I mean, I have, but I don't know if it was a ghosting. I mean, you'd already know that, like, I think, what was it, last year or the year before? Might have been last year that I got somebody blocked me who I didn't even know that I had done something or said to them. That, not that idiot. This is another person.
Another idiot.
Another
Which one?
Yeah, that was another idiot. And I didn't know that. Yeah, and so she had blocked me. And I only found out, obviously, when, like, you know, it comes up in the messages that you're no longer a part of this group. So it's in a group. So she had sort of blocked me, and then she had deleted me from the group things. And we hadn't had a bad word. We had not had a bad word or a bad moment or anything like that, like I said. But for me, I was upset because what it does in your head, it messes with your head. It'd be different if we'd had an argument or we'd had some falling out or some words, or maybe I could recall a conversation where I'd said something that might have upset them, but there was nothing. So what it does is that it really plays with your head and it plays with your heart, because you think, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And at 50 fucking, excuse my language, at 50 something years old, I shouldn't have to be in that place. And so I thought it was incredibly cruel of that person. And then it was my daughter that said to me, Mum, it's not about what you've done. She said it's more about the charge they get out of blocking you, because they're of that blocking generation. And she said it was more about the charge that they got out of blocking you, because we hadn't. So it's different, say, like, Kylie, to you being in a situation which would create that. I would have known that if I had, you'd know whereby if you're crossing boundaries or your boundaries have been crossed, but there was nothing. So if it was that she had found out something about me that she didn't like or didn't walk with, I would never know. Because and then in my life I think, well, what is it that it could have been? But this person was akin to having dreams. So now here am I thinking, and this is what it did to my head. Oh my God, what does she dream? What does she dream? What was I doing in the dream? What did she dream? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Or what was done? And it really messed with me to the point where I was extremely emotional about it, because I thought to myself, this makes no sense why you would do that. Just wake up one day and just block. You know what I mean? And they don't even wait till the middle of the day. She did it like early morning. So it's like, you know, she got up with that intent and started blocking on this and blocking on that. And I just thought, that's just kind of mean. And I think I'm a nice person. She could have called me and said, you know.
I think there are different situations here. Okay. So there is a situation where someone is doing something that isn't aligned with your values, and you don't want to hang out with them anymore because you're not into that. Okay. That's one situation. Another situation that happens is Lee Harris and the Z's talk about how you need 8 points of connection to be in relationship with someone. So 8 different things that you sort of, you know, whether it's like your school mums, or, you know, we have, you know, our work that we do, and we have the podcast, and we have lots of points of interest that connect with each other. So they speak about 8 points of connection being a healthy relationship. And so sometimes you maybe work with someone, or you're doing the same thing as them, and you are very connected. You might speak with them all of the time, but then that can change depending on your life stage, and you just don't have as many points of connection. So then it's sort of more a natural ending where you just don't have that much to talk about anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
And also,
absolutely.
you know, as you know, with all the work we do, you do shift frequency, you know, so it could just be not an energetic match. You're not in resonance anymore. So there's that as well. And I forget the third one that I was going to talk about. So anyway, but
I think sometimes though that people can ghost you, or they can, because it's not just about you ending. I think other people will end friendships with you. And you know, and I've
sorry, Amanda, I remembered.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I add in one more thing?
Go.
And sometimes it actually has nothing to do with you at all. Sometimes that person is going through something. And so kind of like when I'm in traffic and someone's being a bit of a dick and, you know, maybe right at my butt or whatever, I kind of go, well, maybe they need to get to the hospital because their partner is, you know, has been in an accident. So I tend to think when something's going on, I know, I'm very sweet.
Being a dick. Yeah.
Like I go, you know, yeah. Anyway, I kind of go, you're a dick, but I hope everything's okay. But I also think
nice.
I
So
also
nice.
try to think about that with people in relationship, because I know one girlfriend that I used to be very connected with that I barely speak to her anymore, but I know she's got stuff and she may not want to talk to me about it, and that's okay. So it's also not always about you. Sorry, that's the third thing. Amanda, over to you.
Yeah, no. So it was kind of, well, I was kind of going to add on that if somebody, if somebody kind of stops talking to you and you know that you haven't done, so I'm going to come from the end of knowing that you haven't done anything wrong, right? Then I think sometimes I think there, but for the grace of God go I, because if you can do that, then I don't really want to have your energy. And maybe there's a really good reason why your energy is no longer in my life. And sometimes, and when I think back now to the energy that did cut themselves off from me, I did think that they were very, very needy. And I felt like I had to be accountable to them for who I was talking to or what I was doing or who I was connecting with. And they didn't particularly like that. I'm a grown woman. You can't tell me who I can and can't be friends with or who I can and can't talk to. And so I think to myself, well, maybe that was what it was about. And maybe they knew they couldn't speak to me about it because I just would have said, I'm a grown woman, move from me. But anyway.
No one tells you what to do anyway. Like, and it's just mind blowing to think that anyone who thinks out there that they can.
And I think they did. I think this person thought they could. And I think what happened was then they realized that they couldn't. And I was doing my do anyway. And I think that's what it was. So even though I didn't think I was doing anything wrong, I just wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. And they may have felt that I was not listening. And I wasn't listening. Because you can't tell me what my path is, and you can't tell me who I need to connect with, because I may need to connect with that person in order to connect with somebody else through their connection. So don't tell me what I can and can't do.
Love it. Hey, anyway. I have a question for you, ladies. Do you want to be told before you're blocked, or would you just want to be blocked? Like, does the trash want to take itself out, or do you want to be told that the trash is taking itself out?
I would like to know. Well, hold on a second. I want to know, but I want the opportunity to have a conversation about it. I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm going to block you because X, Y, and Z. And before I could respond, you block me. Because now you're just doubling down on the bullshit. You know what I mean? But here's the thing, Kylie, if it's a significant relationship and you care about that person, yeah, you're going to want to understand what happened. If it's a surface level friend, I don't give a shit. And so it's actually reminded me of this one girl who, her and I saw each other at this one event. And we saw each other across the room. I swear, it sounds romantic, but it's not. We saw each other across the room and didn't speak all night. There was maybe 50 people there. And I remember when the event was over, I'm walking to the parking lot and I kind of see her turn around, look at me. Anyway, long story short, we connected. Her and I hit it off immediately. And as she became more involved in my life and vice versa, she would say things like, oh my God, you're such a good person. You really did stuff like this, or you really do these kind of things. And I remember being like, oh, you're being crazy. I don't do anything out of the ordinary, right? And one night we were at this benefit. And when I say she flipped a switch and lost her shit on me because the guy, her date was talking to me and not inappropriately, there was nothing wrong. But long story short, her date and I were in some kind of conversation about the dumbest thing in the world. It was, what's that thing that you put for eyelashes to make them grow?
Oh, yeah, the serum?
Serum.
Yes. Okay. Well, I was telling him because it somehow came up, and I was telling him the study behind it, just because I was a little bit in the beauty industry at the time, so I knew. And she goes, no, that's not true. And I'm like, no, it is, because my boss was directly involved with the study. And she's like, no, you're lying. And I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I could easily just walk away from this, but I actually know what I'm talking about. And I'm like, no, it's absolutely true. I can email you the study. Oh my God, I just said her name. Sorry, girlfriend. Okay. But I'm like,
didn't say last name.
But I'm like, so you say to yeah. We love you.
Jesus, Kylie.
Can we beep those out?
Right.
Oh
So
my
so
God.
I'm telling her I can send her the study, right? And like I'm very like normally being like, no, like this is real. And she, in the middle of like this beautiful, elegant event, loses her shit on me. And me and her date kind of look at each other like, what is happening? She storms out. And now I have to storm out with her because my clothes, my car keys, everything is at her house. So she storms out. I'm following her. She gets in the cab. She's like, don't follow me. I'm like, I have to come to your house. So she ignores me the entire time. We get back to her house. I get my things. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I thought she was gonna like shed, like cut my skin and like skin me. Like she was that psycho. And I'm getting to my car, and apparently, apparently the silence wasn't enough for her. And she calls me, and I thought to myself, don't answer. Do not answer the phone. But I answered the
You
phone.
answered it.
And she says to me, how dare you leave and not say anything to me? I have so much to say. And she starts unloading.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like,
that phone would have gone down. What are you doing? That phone,
listen.
listen.
So in
Block.
that moment, I'm like, listen,
You never would have
girlfriend.
heard from me again.
Well, same. But I've also had never been in that situation before. So I said to her, you know what? Listen, emotions are running high. Why don't we talk in the morning? Because like nothing's going to get resolved right now. I don't know how I was so calm because, you know, I get feisty too. But
Yeah.
she railed on me to the point where I hung up. She calls me the next day with her tail tucked between her legs. Love you, girlfriend. And I just knew in that moment I would never have treated her that way. And so if you're going to disrespect me that way, there's no way to have a true friendship. It just doesn't work because I'm going to be waiting for that other shoe to drop. And I'm not signing up for any of that. So if Kylie, if you were in my life, I would totally like be like,
Yeah.
Kylie
And-
will deal with you. But
Fuck yeah, let me.
She would. But you know what? I think as well from that you know comes the classic saying that you teach people how to treat you. So if you had continued, for me, if you had continued even after her explanation, because for her to think that she could blow like that the first time, there's something about your relationship that is telling her that she has that kind of latitude in order to go down that road like that.
yeah,
You know
but
what I
hold on
mean?
a second, Amanda. Is it me that allowed her to believe that she could try and
No.
burn me like that?
Oh,
Or that's within
no.
her?
That's within her. That's
Yeah.
absolutely within her. So I doubt you would have been the first and only person that she would have behaved that way with.
Absolutely not. And when I was like thinking back, I was like, no wonder she kept making these comments throughout our friendship because I
Yeah.
had never seen. I knew there was a lot of fire within her, but I had never seen or witnessed anything like that. And when it came at me, it was like full steam ahead. And I was like, what is happening? What's happening?
Yeah.
Can I fast forward?
Yeah.
We did make up like a year later. She was invited to my wedding in another country on the beach of an island. She came all the way there and she like ghosted me on my
Shut your face. Sorry.
And it was like, okay, girlfriend, you did it to yourself. Like, what are you doing? I know, Kylie. I'm sorry.
Trash took itself out.
No,
It's okay. You weren't willing to take it out. She put herself in recycling. Bye, bitch.
No, she's too good for recycling.
Infinite love and
She's too
gratitude.
good for recycling.
Asshole.
Recycling to who? Nah. She's too good
Yeah,
for
to someone else
recycling.
to deal with
She
her
went,
bullshit.
She went with general household waste.
That's right.
That goes
And
doesn't come back.
was
right?
incinerated,
No shape, no
not separated.
I
Okay,
want
we
to
can
ask
keep
you guys
going, but yeah,
advice.
dead to us. Dead
Now,
to
when
us.
you've
Kelly,
got
you're dead to us.
girlfriends and they are good, like girlfriends that you've had for a long time, that you love, that you have a lot of connection, and they have been going through their stuff, but the whole problem is that they're actually not going through anything. They're stuck in their stuff. And they have been stuck in their stuff for weeks that have turned into months that have turned into years. How do you guys handle that? Because I've realized that I have a lot of stamina until I have absolutely no stamina. And I appreciate that it may take these women as surprise that I am no longer available for those kind of conversations when I have been for years. But I do just get to the stage where I just have sort of, I don't know, just some sort of compassion fatigue
Compassion
or something
fatigue.
like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Well,
and it's
Say
like
that
before we
again.
jump,
something's got to
Compassion.
change
compassion
in this.
fatigue. Compassion
Oh,
fatigue.
fatigue.
Yeah,
Fatigue.
yeah.
You know what I heard? I heard compassion for tea. You know how people are like spill the tea, the gossip? And I was like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
that's why I was like, it didn't make sense to me.
So I before we jump into that, I actually want to share a story about when I think I was in year 12 at high school. I was 17 in the thick of an exercise addiction, probably an eating addiction, eating disorder.
Sort of.
And then and also like high achieving for my final year of school, like, studying like a crazy person. Anyway, so I was in a really not good place. I actually had a girlfriend who would have been 17 at the time write me a letter to say, I actually just cannot be friends with you anymore because you're too depressed. And reflecting on that, like at the time, that was really hard because
Right.
clearly I just didn't have a lot of people that I could talk to or whatever was going on at the time. But, reflecting on that, I'm like, that was actually really brave and quite
Gives me
like a
goosies.
stand-up move on her part. I highly respect that. So anyway, it's just, that was amazing. So but yeah, let's jump into how to deal with people in that situation, as Rachel has said. But yeah, just wanted to share that story.
I'm just wondering because I've got a couple of people.
Sorry, Rachel, just before you jump into that, please, Don. But I just wanted to add that on to like what Lauren just said. Yeah, it could be, but that could have gone a completely different way, because that could have been the letter that tipped somebody over the edge.
Yeah,
because that may have been their only friend,
right?
And that could have been the letter that tipped them over the edge. So it's
it can go. It's a very fine line. It is
way,
true,
isn't it? It's a very fine
so
line.
it would have to be done in a very loving way. Yeah.
Look,
but yes,
and
you're right.
just on Lauren's point, staying with that. But then again, the flip side is that with respect to you, gorgeous, divine Lauren, how is Lauren's relationship behavior impacting on this girl? Like, I'm not trying to make it worse for you, Lauren, but
it's not. It's not a thing. It's like not a thing.
Imagine what it would be like to be a 17-year-old girl that is so stressed about this relationship and so disturbed by what happens that she actually writes her a letter, that kind of thing. Like, I get what you're saying, it could tip her over the edge, but at the same time, it could have tipped that other girl over the edge if she didn't actually have a boundary. Like, it's hard. Like, this is so much of the crux of so much of the feels for this whole conversation, because none of us want to be the kind of friends that cherry pick our friends when we're not even those kind of people. We're there for all of the times.
I really do think it needs to come down to authenticity and approaching things with your heart, because even if you need to say something difficult, you can do it in such a way that is loving, if that makes sense. So 100%. But 100%. Authenticity is key, right? So with those relationships, Rachel, where you're saying, that the person's not doing the thing or not, and it's been such a long time, I actually don't know, to be honest. I feel as though it would, I feel like writing is easier, but writing is always easier for me because you can get it all out. You can, get out what you need to get out and then, probably draft it to make it more digestible for someone else to read. But also I know that when you write something to someone, they need to look down to read it usually, unless they're looking up here. And that brings them into their heart space. So I would always, I guess, suggest writing something first, because that may make you feel better anyway. And I always sit on things. So I would never send it the same day. I would then look at it the next day, especially when someone is sort of stuck in their victimhood and their journey is difficult, because everyone's got stuff. Like, everyone in the world has got stuff. But it's just about boundaries that are loving and compassionate and communicating it in a way that is not attacking, I guess. So people don't feel, it's not adding to their load, because they're actually not capable of seeing things in a different way at this point.
Look, I think letter writing is such a beautiful thing. One, it expresses time taken consciously to do something. But I also think it's a very private way of communicating. Do you know what I mean? The person can read it when it suits them. They can have the time to digest it and integrate it without an audience. You know, I always appreciate written communication in
Oh,
advance.
I don't
Just
know.
saying.
Isn't it
We find it
strange?
and
disturbing.
reread
I
it.
know, but
Yeah.
isn't
I
it?
think to
But this is what the
myself,
five of us are about. Yeah, go for it,
I
Amanda.
think to myself, no, I don't want to write anybody a letter to tell them that I don't want to be their friend anymore. I don't want to receive a letter from anybody. And I don't, so I don't know what I would want. I don't know what's the best way. I would hope that for me, and I think it's also maybe age wise appropriate. I would hope that I would never be in a place whereby somebody that I deeply love and care for as a best friend would ever find themselves in that place whereby they have to tell me, like, I can't be around you anymore. I would, that would absolutely devastate me. And I guess I can only say that from where I am and from where I'm sitting, because I think my
But
life is, I
Amanda,
think I'm,
I want
yeah.
to ask you something, because Rachel's not necessarily talking about a best friend, right? She's talking about like a female
No.
relationship that is really kind of draining your energy. And so as you're speaking, I'm like, does Amanda just not have those because she's had boundaries like a motherfucker, and she's like not let them near? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have
No,
you ever had
well,
relationships
yeah,
that sort of pull on you all the time and are energetically draining, and you kind of leave it feeling like a pancake?
yeah. So I had, or I, and I don't even know whether or not I say I had or I have. I have a friend who over the years steadily became an alcoholic, and I was there for some of the decline, but only really at the very beginning of it. They went from being a weekend drinker to kind of like, finding themselves in a like a relationship that kind of like increased it and everything like that, and situations and hard times. But I kind of stepped away from them. I just stepped away because I knew that nothing I said was going to make a difference. Because when someone's like that, nothing I knew nothing I said was going to make a difference. And also I knew that that because I was not in their life all the time, I wasn't actually going to be of any help. Because in order for me to help them with the addiction, I'd have to be there all the time, every day. I'd literally have to be living next door or be there all the time. And so I lost contact with her for a good few years until she turned up in my life again, full-blown alcoholic now, disappeared again, and then turned up again. And when she did turn up again, she was then dealing with it. But she also said to me then, she said there was nothing that I could have said and done over the years. She said for her, she had to hit rock bottom. And I kind of knew this, but I kind of knew that I couldn't stay and watch what was happening.
Right.
So it wasn't that I ghosted her because she never called me. It wasn't that there was not a returned call.
No, you just quietly removed yourself from the situation.
Yeah, and so because if she had called me, I would have responded, and if she'd been me, I would always respond to her. But she never contacted me again, and so it just kind of faded away like that. So, but I always think that sometimes some people, look, I have friends who have gone through, say, divorce, and it's taken them years to get to that stage, and you have to walk that journey with them. Because it doesn't matter whether or not you see it as clear as day and it needs to happen today or it needs to happen sometime this year. You have to walk that journey, and it could take years. I know for my friend, it's taken probably 25 years to get to that divorce stage, but that's my that's my best mate. I'm not going
special
anywhere.
friend.
Yeah.
But also too, I'm assuming at the same time there's some balance in the relationship where you have space to breathe and speak, right?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's important, right? It's like, it's whether the relationship goes both ways, because there are lots of people who go through difficult times, and absolutely we don't ditch them. But when they suck the oxygen out of the room every time you're
Yeah.
with them, and there is no space for you to breathe or speak, I think that is it's not healthy.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if I've had that in my life, and I don't know if I have. I'm experiencing now that on a personal level, in terms of, say, on a closer level, as opposed to friends, as opposed to within family, having to make some really hard decisions about that. Do you know what I mean? But I haven't. So I don't know what I would want. Would I want for somebody to tell me, I don't think I want to read a letter? What would I do?
Let
with
me
it?
tell you,
But I mean,
all
it
of
could
these
also.
relationships, I was just going to say, are very long-term relationships. Like that's a big discerning factor for me. Like Yana, like casual relationships, I couldn't care about, and even probably 5-year relationships, I couldn't care about. The ones that I'm
Aside from
talking
us.
about,
I mean, we
well, you
fall
know,
into that category. And what are you saying?
No.
We are.
Aside from us,
You know what I
there's
mean?
an asterisk. Asterisk.
We have already
Rachel's
evidenced
gonna
to each
block
other
us
that
after
we
this.
would go.
Chevron.
There's no chance of that. Oh my God.
My trigger word.
Anyway, but look, the thing is, and especially with you know, familiar relationships, as in family relationships and really long-term relationships, is that these friendships are over 30 and 40 years now. Do you know what I mean? Like when you say you're not the same person, I mean like you haven't been the same person 1,000 times by then.
Correct. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Well, and that is very much on a frequency level too, right? Because like when you just, it could be somebody who you haven't had an issue with, who you kind of are still in the same thing, doing the same stuff, you enjoy being in the same circles, but then at some point there's kind of like this frequency shift, and it's not good or bad, it just is. And you just naturally go, one goes one way, one goes the other, or sometimes it could just be just for you. And I don't think
That's
there's
when
anything
it's
wrong with
hard.
that.
It's hard when
right.
one person is reading the room and feels a certain way, but the other one's still clinging. That's
Right.
the awkward.
No,
So
listen,
can I
I'll
ask a
say this.
question? Can I ask a question, right? Can this all not be sort of, I don't know, is it not like age related? Because I did want to ask you, Yana, when that thing happened with you with your friend, how old
were you about 30?
I was 37.
Oh.
But here's another one. We've been doing this podcast for over a year. So let's say a year and a half ago, when I had started the podcast when I was in talks to doing the podcast with the other Lauren about, the Soul Contract podcast, I shared it with the friend that I was the closest with at the time. By the way, I had later found out she's karmic force. And so there was this selfish component that it's like I saw it, but I never really
experienced it.
Yeah. You always think it's never going to happen to you. And so what happened was, what happened was, her and I had talked about doing a podcast, but she was sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it. And then here came this other opportunity to do all about soul contracts. And I was so excited to tell my best friend that, oh my God, I'm starting this podcast about soul contracts. And she immediately goes to, well, we were going to do one together. And I'm like, oh, well, we still can, but that is completely different. Like, you're not a part of that world. It's not like you're also a soul contract practitioner and I'm cutting you out. And when I say to you, for her, she was done with me. She was done with me because she viewed it like, how dare you do something like that when we had discussed it. Now, understanding that she has karmic force, I understand why she reacted the way she did. But I was very much like, I'm your friend. I'm not taking anything away from you. Like, what is happening? And I tried more than I should have to salvage and go, listen, let's just have a conversation. Let's talk about this. I don't want to lose you as a friend. And she was just like, no. But what's really interesting is she had told me she had done her numerology, her standard numerology. And she was told by a numerologist and some other type of woman that she will never have lifelong friends. She will only have friends that come in for a short period and then they go, and then another friend comes in and then another. And I remember reflecting on that as this happened. I thought to myself, oh, she burned this relationship, but energetically, was that because time for her was to move on and time for me, apparently. But I just thought that was so crazy when you start to piece things together. And the most important thing is, it wasn't about me. That, even though what I said to her caused her to react that way, I knew in that moment right away, that's not about me. That's your own personal thing. Because there's not I didn't sleep with your husband. There's no reason for
No,
you
but
to react that
you're
way.
getting on and doing something that she obviously has wanted to do for a long time, and she hasn't got her shiz together, and you've got your shiz together, and worse still with other people. I honestly believe that's the kind of reflection it would have been mostly. But I've got to
I
tell
think
you,
that's
I
bad behavior,
freaking love
though.
it when people look. Do you? Because I was about to say, I love it when people self-select themselves out of my life. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen very
take the trash
often.
out.
Yeah, no,
It
that's
is, but
good.
I'm just like, oh well,
No,
that's a good decision I don't have to make. Do you know what
yeah,
I
I
mean? I
get
don't
it,
even have to
but I
wonder.
also no, I get it, but I also think about, and I think, and I do, I do love it. I do love that. Although, you know, I've 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 had it maybe a couple of times, but I also think about sometimes like the reasons that they use to do it. Do you know what I mean? The reasons that they just use to do it. And I think sometimes you wonder, like you said, and I mean, like it's a couple of times that you've said kind of like that you see these things in people, and then when it happens to you, you're kind of like, oh, but if you think about it, if those flags are in people, then you just think to yourself, one day it's gonna come at you, no matter
I
what, it's
know.
gonna come at you.
But
Do you know what I mean?
Amanda, I'm a karmic 8/8, and I fantasize about the perfect relationships and the perfect friends and the perfect partners. And I'm just like, no, we'll heal all that away. It'll be great. And then reality hits, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think for me, like I keep saying, I think as you get older, your friend base becomes kind of different. It's more
It
different.
does.
It's more
You
sort of,
do change
yeah,
over
it's more
time,
sort of,
though.
you change, you change,
Mm.
you change. And
Like, I
plus
am
I
nowhere near
think
the person.
your friends grow smaller.
Yeah.
And so you have literally a handful of friends that, you know,
Quality,
that,
not quantity.
yeah, that isn't going to happen. Although you can still have friends and family that you could make a big party. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
you couldn't field a party. Do you know what I mean? You could, but you know, people
Would you want to?
are, yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So,
You guys have
so the
distorted
thing
my
is,
friend number so much. Do you know what I mean? Because having 4 really good girlfriends all at once has
Yeah.
really changed my like. I'm like, yeah, but I don't feel like my circle has got smaller in the last couple of years. I feel like it's got weirdly bigger
Bigger.
with more quality relationships.
Yeah,
But that's,
yeah,
thanks
richer.
to you guys. Yeah.
I just wanted to jump in though on back to Rachel's point on those sort of long-term relationships, people you care about don't just necessarily want to block, but they're not in the best place. And you know, the where I was saying, like, is there oxygen or space for you in that friendship? I think there is room for a conversation where it's like, I really care about you. We've been friends for a really long time, but I need to let you know that there needs to be more in this friendship than X, Y, and Z, or whatever they're constantly going on about in the nicest way possible. You know, so because really what you're doing is, I mean, no one's winning in that relationship, to be fair, right? Everyone's being drained, they're staying in their stuff. But having a kind conversation where it's like, look, I actually feel, I don't feel good after we speak. You know, this has been going on for a really long time. I really care about you. What can we do? Like, how can I support you? Do you want to go and talk to someone? But I can't be this person all the time because it's wearing me out. I think that's a fair thing to do. I mean, every situation is very unique and you need to use your discernment. But I think there is space to say, hey, this relationship really is not, it's not giving me anything, right? It's just draining the life out of me. And don't say that, but you know.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a
Absolutely.
question. Is it also okay to say, hey friend, I really love like spending time with you and seeing you, but I feel like I don't get enough from you and I'd like to see you more? Kylie.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Kylie comes with
No.
her own handbook. So, you know.
No, I don't do that. No way. No.
I gotta tell you, even
No.
I think that I would have trouble with that. If somebody
Thank
said
you.
that to me, even I would be like, like, how much were you thinking? Yeah.
I think it really depends. I think it depends
Like,
on the person's capacity, and I think it depends
mm.
on the friendship, and I feel like it depends on the value each person gets out of that friendship.
No.
If you
Have
want to
any of
nurture a
you ever asked
relationship,
for more from a friendship? Ever? Have you ever asked
have
for more
I?
from a
Can I?
platonic relationship?
Yeah, I ask
Do
for
you know
more from
what?
Kylie all the time. So
There
Oh
you
so
yeah,
does
go.
well that's
everybody here,
No.
okay?
So can I
that's like
just
you can be
say,
sure to get the ball hit back.
I
No, I'm just
literally
kidding.
had this conversation today with someone. Apparently, I was really funny. And they're like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
love you, want to put you in our friend group and go do
you're like,
shit
"No."
together. And
And then
I
you're like,
was
I'm
like,
not that
hell
person.
no. Hell
Good
no.
for you.
Sorry. No, I have zero. Look, I am sorry, okay, for what I'm about
Whereas
to say.
Yana and I accept all the WhatsApp groups and never participate instead of
Exactly.
that.
Look, no, bitch. No, we don't do that either.
And then
Like, no one
archive
has
them.
time. Yeah, archive, block, get it off my phone, out of my life. I have a problem with these. So I have 3 children, and I like to be in the classroom sometimes. I want to watch what's going on. The PTA, sometimes if I'm asked, I might do PTA things. But the PTA comes with a whole gaggle of women that go brunch while their children are at school and go play tennis, and they want to go and shop their Lily Pulitzer or whatever her fucking name is. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. And I've told you, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't do that. That's a waste of my time. I will not be fun with you. If you want to go do tennis, I will be in the corner looking at a bird, not interested. And I'm upfront. I don't want to spend time with, like, it was great that we had this conversation, but that stops. Like, I don't have an interest in pursuing this further because of your lifestyle. And I'm very singular. I know that that's really like selfish, and I know that that's really one-sided, and
See,
Hold
I
on,
know that.
hold on. Kylie, wait, hold on, Amanda. Kylie, have you ever had anybody in your life where you're like, oh, I want to be their friend? Like, I want to be in their
Me?
space. Like, in reverse, right?
Me, like maybe 3 people, and Lauren's one of them. Sure, Yana too, yeah.
Oh,
And Rachel and Amanda. Sure. Sure.
Read between the lines, Kylie.
Sure. Okay,
Whoa,
fine.
whoa.
But
Lauren,
if I'm in
maybe
deep,
Amanda.
and you, I said you and Rachel, yeah.
she said you.
I did.
Hold on,
Listen to
Yana.
the heartfelt
You might see
tone.
floors kicking off here.
Yeah.
I do have 4s, I found out. Maybe
No, it's
I'm talking about
Yana's
I'll
force,
Yana's
trust me.
floors. Yana's
okay.
floors.
Oh,
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Fours are
I do
showing.
not
Look.
have karmic fours.
Look,
You've got
have
fours
karmic,
somewhere.
and I have 4s.
look, sometimes though, in answer to Lauren's question, and I think it was Lauren's question, sometimes though, you do have to get told by friends that your friendship needs work. Because I know that
Yes,
happened with me and my best friend of like 40 something
Hmm.
years. And I think I was quite lazy, because I always knew that she was gonna call me, and I always knew, do you know what I mean? And we were always gonna, every time we spoke, it was if we just spoke yesterday, and things like that. And I guess I was being quite sort of like just lazy in that sense. And I do know that it had affected us. It was the first and only thing that's ever affected us. But the thing was that in me noticing that there was a slight kind of there was something in the air. I remember one time we were on the phone and I getting off the phone and I just said to her, "Are we okay?" And I'd never said that to her before. And she just said to me, "Yeah, we're okay." And I said to her, "No." I said, "Are we okay?" And that was when it all came out. And she was crying, I was crying, but it's like, because she didn't want to have to tell me how she was feeling, and I didn't want to have to hear that I was hurting her in the process of me just being lazy. And it was just me just being lazy. Do you know what I mean? And so we fixed that in that call, because of our love for each other.
Yeah.
Laziness is
I don't want
killer.
to.
It really is the killer of all friendships.
What is?
Yeah, what
Laziness.
just
Yeah.
laziness. Yeah,
It really
absolutely. And I didn't realize that I was just being, I was just being like lazy, like, you know, because sometimes your friends do want to hear from you more than just like think bobbing. And I know I can still do it now, but it was a case of I had to hear that, and had to start making a difference, making a change. And I think that's when you can be kind of like I guess a pull on something or whatever. Like my husband always says, be a radiator and not a drain. A radiator and not a drain.
Was that the car conversation?
The car
Is this an air
conversation.
conditioning thing or a car
Yeah.
thing? I need clarification.
I don't know, but I like it. I think it's a t-shirt.
Is this a skirt and top thing?
No,
Is this
it's
a
a
legit
t-shirt.
statement?
No,
Well, I think
no, but
really, you know, through this conversation, it's like there are so many different possibilities and situations. And I think the best thing anyone can do is approach things with authenticity and, you know, also consideration of where the other person may be at. It's not just about
Right.
you, it is also about them. You know, relationships do come to natural endings. Sometimes one person might get there before the other. Maybe there isn't that much to connect over. And, you know, there's all these different situations. So I think being compassionate and considerate in whatever action you do is probably the best way for any of it, right? And boundaries are important, but just make them loving, not like fuck you, like Kylie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm joking.
Can I just
Don't
can
be
I just
Kylie.
say,
What the fuck
I
is
do
that?
think I do think that I'll just let everybody know who knows me that at my age, I just don't think I'm in that place to just be relinquishing friendships or friendship. Don't nobody write me no letter. Nobody write
Yeah, me either. Me either.
right. Just
You know
be
what
my
it's about a
friend.
letter? I'm
Just
going
be
to hold
my
on to
friend,
it and be
that's
like,
it.
oh, this is so energetically heavy. What am I going to do with this letter? Am I going to burn it? Am I going to like do a witchcraft spell around it so they lose all their hair? Like that's what I
Do
would
you know what I
think.
mean?
I'm like, this is my connection to them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, you know, but it's also very hurtful, I think, and very painful when other people, because it's not just about what we will do about things that are we're no longer feeling it, but when other people, like when other people are no longer, or for whatever reasons they have, because sometimes people can just be shitty, like I just said to you, like if you have somebody in your life that doesn't want you to be doing something or to be speaking to somebody that, oh Jesus Christ, don't want you to be doing
What?
Did you just
Did you
almost
always
fall
fall
off
off your
the
chair?
or is there a little animal there? Or
I'm
has a little
like,
sprite just
demon?
gave you a fright?
There's no animal there, Rachel.
Was that a balance problem? What happened?
Christ almighty.
Do we need to call the authorities? Like, are you okay?
Oh, I can see someone.
What is that?
I could see a man. And he
Hold
just
on.
crawled out. I
Mom,
saw
I
his
gotta
bum.
get out my water. Hold on. No,
You
let's
saw his bum.
Yeah, I just saw his bum
No,
and his white
I
shorts
just
crawl
I
away
just
on his little
got
hands and legs.
I just got delivery of a nice hot cup of tea. So, you know,
a hot
Oh.
couple of what?
Teeny.
Oh, I'm
Teeny.
telling Alex.
because I'm in a different room, it's very difficult to
It's
start
harder to
kind of
deliver
just
her drinks.
come in to deliver my drinks.
What?
Listen, I need
Where's
to be
my
Amanda in my
drinks?
next life. Right, exactly.
Oh my god.
But what I'm
Is
saying
there
is
an
that,
umbrella and a straw? Sorry.
and so some of that.
She's ignoring you now.
It's a hot one. It's a hot one. No, I was just saying that sometimes it can be very, very hard when you're left to try and figure out and work out why this person's not speaking to you. What is it that you've done? And then you go through all of that stages, and then you just come to just find out, well, they're just an arse anyway. So just don't
Yeah.
want to be around them anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do think that it can be quite painful. I think it's quite a hard thing to deal with until you can move on from it. So I don't know. I wouldn't block someone. I wouldn't block anybody if they were drained. What I would do, okay, so this is me now. So it's going now. We're a spiritual podcast, right? If that was me, I would just put it up to guest source or put it up to my team to say, listen, this isn't working. So, just remove them gently or quietly from my life. That's what I would do. And then you'll just find it just sort of just begins to just dissipate and it just begins to just move away. One day you realize that it's been 6 months and you've not heard from them. And okay.
You know what? If you wear moonstone, it will determine for you whether that person will leave. Like that's kind of the universal signal in my
really.
There you go. Moonstone.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you're iffy about someone, you want to go out and have like a drink with them or something, wear some moonstone and see how they react.
What?
Oh.
Meaning they may just be crazy or not show up, or
they might just take the trash out, take themselves out,
Take themselves out.
themselves
Okay.
out,
Or they come into contact with your moonstone and start howling, and then you know it's a
That's
vampire.
right. And then you know, like, not today, Satan. Not today. Unless you're really hot.
Not today.
Not today. Not today.
Okay, well,
Oh my
Kylie,
goodness.
since you're on your moonstone, you got some cards there for us?
I do. I pulled one. Okay. I'm going to do tarot. Wandering Star. Woo.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that such a pretty deck?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lovely cuppa. That's a lovely deck.
Lovely deck.
You got a lovely deck,
What's
Kylie.
happening here?
Yeah.
I always love having lovely decks in my hand.
Looks
Okay.
like a good size
Ace
one.
of
Oh,
Listen, this is going out, you know.
We cannot edit this. Okay.
that's right.
Ace of Pentacles.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ace of
So
Pentacles,
Ace of
Can you tell
Pentacles,
us what the pentacles generally mean, Kylie? Can you just start educating us a
Queen?
bit in the tarot as well?
Fuck
So
no.
it's money, it's income,
I'm going to
it's.
block you, Rachel. Okay.
Okay,
So
sorry.
You're asking
You
too
put
much.
her on the spot like that.
you don't ask me questions like that. I'm
Okay,
not
so-
here to teach anyone. Yeah. So pentacles are like kind of abundance and financial and, you know, like a transactional thing or whatever. Is that enough? Did I pass the
Yeah.
test?
I'll ask ChatGPT after. It's okay. Cool.
GPT, yes.
Yeah.
And I'll be
I
material.
thought I had an expert here, but that's no worries.
Clearly you have been mistaken.
Tell you what, you
Clearly.
friggin'
Do I
You-
look like I
like,
have
you play a good
900,000
game, babe.
subscribers? Oh, fuck yeah.
No, but
Make it
I
so you
really
make
did
it.
think that you understood the card, so you had sold me that dream. So cool. Anyway,
Hey, Ace of fucking Pentacles. I'm
What
going
does it
to
mean
read
to
the
you, Carla?
description. Prosperity, property, beginnings.
Look at it.
Prosperity, property, beginnings. That's what it says.
Okay.
Okay. No, listen. It is around.
So what are you
okay.
saying?
Okay. What I'm saying is, are you ready to be impressed, Rachel?
Yes, I am.
Because I have a cheat sheet and
Okay.
experience. So
Okay.
what I'm getting is that we're
Yeah.
coming into, and if you follow the community, my astrological predictions for September do indicate this. So you have to go join 30 days.
The collective.
And it ties in with that energy. So we are in the Virgo energy of, if you want to have prosperity, you get to make an action. So if you want to be healthy, put down the fucking chips. Do something. Make an action, right? I'm going to be healthy. No, you got to make a conscious effort to be
Is that going
healthy.
out to
That's right.
What you
That's
should
right.
say, Kylie.
Follow my YouTube account with 3 subscribers for more information. Okay. So it's health. It's about prosperity. If you want prosperity, guess what? Go get a job.
Yeah.
Go get a promotion.
So we're
I don't
taking
know what
action.
you need to do. Take an action.
I won't
Go
be winning the
find a
lottery.
nice deck. Listen, that is
Have you bought a
not
ticket?
financial
That's
plan.
an action.
isn't it? Why is that not a financial
Listen,
plan?
I did not ask for your insights. Okay.
Why are you feeling, Laura?
Oh my God, what is going on?
I
I
don't
have
know.
a deck in my hand and everyone just can't control themselves. So
We've
yes,
lost the plot.
It must be the moonstone.
it's the moonstone. It's the hour-and-a-half technical problems.
Mm.
It's really hot. I'm perimenopausal and I've blocked everyone in my life. Follow for
Okay.
more life
Listen.
stuff.
Okay, then you know what? Let's bring it down. Let's get some words of wisdom from Lauren.
Okay.
What are you
Ready?
saying? Don't you have wisdom? Bitch.
All right.
Okay, Lauren.
There was a time where all I could see were the thoughts and actions that you needed from me. And in my frenzy to hold your heart, I forgot about me. I fell apart. And it is so complex, the way that I feel. A tapestry with all of the colors, each of them real. As I start to unpick each layer and thread, unfolding emotions, some that I dread. But now is the time to bring my energy back to me, to hold my own heart, to feel truly free. And at the same time, I still share my love in ways that can't be seen and in ways that aren't done. Today, I make a commitment to be the person that I need, to hold space for my human, to let my soul take the lead. It's time to redefine the word we call selfish and bring it more in line with self-love, deserving, and worthy. I invite you to do the same, to come back to your heart and to hold all the spaces where you fell apart. Here is to all of us loving ourselves dearly, of sharing our hearts without making us weary. Let this be the moment we embrace and command. A new reality we weave, a place we can finally land.
And block everyone else.
Be- Beautiful. Thank you, Lauren.
Beautiful, Lauren.
Thank you,
If you made it
Lauren.
this far and you
That's really
love
good.
Well done, you.
Kylie's humor and Lauren's words of wisdom, there's plenty more of that. Come join us on the collective. You guys, this membership 30-day free trial, the banner's been going this entire episode. It's this beautiful portal. We get monthly calls, community access, healing sessions, guided meditations. And let me show you this. I mean, you guys, when we look at this library of just different videos that we've collected that get to be shared, it really is just such a beauty. I mean, it keeps going. I was scrolling down before because I was like, this just doesn't even end. Anyway, we've got card pulls, we have healing sessions, we have like body activations, there's astrological stuff. I mean, this just keeps going. Self-worth, self-love. It doesn't end, you guys. And so come join us, come be a part of the collective. Go to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. I promise you, you will not regret it. You'll gain some excellent new friends, especially if you got 8s in your soul contract. This is your place. That community is what everybody is thriving. That community is what everyone is like thirsting for.
Cool.
And so come join us. You'll get way more of Kylie's craziness and Lauren's words of wisdom and just so much beauty, so much laughter, healing, all of that. I'm done talking. And so you guys, if you're interested in reading, a healing, a guided meditation session, a light body activation, simply want to say hello to Rachel, head on over again to yoursoulwisdomshow.com. We thank you for allowing us to create this beautiful space, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.